This shows that Ashland fee, current fee, and then Bayfield's fee. Dan asked me to get prices too, which I did email him. I haven't received an answer, and I could not. You can't get on their ordinances unless you have a login online. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't let me in. So, just wondering. You know, the fees have been in place since 2007. If we want to adjust them or not.
Well,
So
let me ask this though, are we talking about gravel pits and stuff?
yeah, so every year they
But
pay a
didn't
fee.
we just increased fees for size, right? If they had changed the size
That
of the
that
pit?
was the amount of financial assurance that they have
Okay.
that had to have in place. This is a yearly fee they pay our department. So every year I have to send out a notice to them, and then they have to pay a fee for their yearly permit. And then when they pay it, then I send them a thing that they have to post at the mine entrance.
What happens if they don't pay it?
Then they would, we would have to look at
Stopping the permit?
stopping the permit, but then they either have to reclaim the pit or else we have to reclaim the pit and use that financial assurance money that they have in place to reclaim that pit.
Okay, so this would be, this is the yearly fee.
This is a
just
yearly
to get
fee
the thing.
to administer the program. And I spend a lot of time at it. I have some, you know, postage and paper and all this other, should review them. I don't make it to every pit every year. I try to get by a lot of them and look at them just to kind of see where they're at. But yeah, I should have added on here, and I didn't think of it. The fee that we charge when they start a pit is $200. That is actually too low, because when they start it, I have to review their plan to make sure it meets up with our ordinance. And then I have to send out mailings to every adjoining landowner within 300 or 600 feet of that property. And then I have to post in the newspaper that we're doing this, and anybody, they can request a public hearing. Then you possibly could have to host a public hearing. So, I mean, the cost of it, I mean, it just in advertising and mailings, you know, is probably $200.
Yeah.
So that really should
What
be,
does Bayfield County charge?
Right
you
here.
know what,
No.
they don't,
For that.
I did
opening
not
of it.
see that in their, I didn't see that. They didn't send me that part on their opening. And we can relook at that too. Maybe we should kick this one out to the next meeting. It needs to be approved before December. I start on for next year's, but so it would,
What happens with the money that's collected? Where does it go?
it stays right here in our department.
Stays right here, okay?
Yeah, it goes, it's basically part of our income. We report it on our budget. We have a line item for that's,
What's the-
Line
what's
for the
the-
revenue and the expenses.
yeah.
What's the average size of a pit? What's the average size?
You know, most of them are in that 3 acres.
I was gonna
4
say, we don't have
acres.
nothing like 25 or 50 or
We
more.
do. I
we?
mean, like up on Poppy Road, that's a big one.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But most of them are
that's-
smaller ones.
Most of them, yeah, we
So
got,
that's the bulk of our money then.
yeah, we got the one, you know, Ashland Construction has that sand pit on Ashland on 112. That's that 26 to 50 range. You know, it's on the open size, it's pretty small yet. It's probably in that 4 or 5 acre range right now. He has an opportunity for bigger, but he's not using bigger yet. So
How many pits are we having that goes?
it's 33 or 4, I believe.
That many.
34, huh? Is there any on the island?
We have a sand pit there, and Arnie has a sand gravel pit. Not
It's the
very
same price now on the island, isn't it?
same price on the island, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, if you want to just redo that to bring. any
Yeah, I
less
should look
fees you
into
want.
that. I didn't think of it when I was doing it. But just to look at this, we almost have the same price structure as Bayfield. Theirs says, ours is $35 from 3 to 15 acres. It's $35 an acre. So I just put these in there where theirs is, from 4 to 7, they're at $325. From 8 to 10, they're at $475.
Yeah.
So if you look, I put the difference, the stuff in the parentheses is how much more they are for each of their acres. So they're a fair amount higher than us right across the board.
What I would like to see is how many of these 3-acre pits we have and how many of these 50 acres, if you have already done this.
Yeah, I mean, I have a
Can you
spreadsheet.
just tell us how many we got, and then we'll see what we're talking about?
Yeah, it brings in 7,000.
Yeah, and then but then that includes the
The
DNR fees.
The-
So I think we
We
should figure out.
collect a fee too that for the DNR and pay that out to him also. We charge 2 fees. We charge our fee and then the DNR fee, and then we have to pay the DNR out, so.
I'd say between 3,000 and 4,000. That seems about right.
Okay, but like
For
I
the
said,
administration.
how
of it.
many inactive pits do we have? How many,
Yeah,
but if, I'd like to
Really
bring
no
this up at the next meeting. And but I'd like to know how many we got, and I'd like to know what the activation fee is.
okay.
Is there a fee to actually close it out too?
No closeout fee, no.
Okay.
Nope.
And,
I have to do an inspection on it, but it's not a
if
fee
we
for
did,
that.
if we did this next meeting, we could bring it up at the November meeting.
It would have to go to the November county board meeting.
November county board meeting, and then would be effective the first of the year.
Yeah.
That's when. this-
Yeah, so the next years are due January 31st, but I usually send them out in the early December to be paid by January 31st.
Is this some of the, what he was asking about? This is
Yeah,
all the
so
fees.
we're at 200 right now, but I mean, to see what Bayfield and Price are.
Mhm.
And then maybe I can get prices numbers back to see where they're at too, because
Yeah, that'd be good.
Dan had asked me to, and I just had.
Does an active mean that you have an active pit and you don't use it, but you have the anticipation of reopening it at some point?
Inactive, yeah. If there's any digging that's done, it's an active pit because it hasn't been closed.
Okay,
They could reclaim it to the specs in the plan, and then it would shrink down and it would be inactive. It could still be open, that they can go digging there whenever they want and open it back up, but it would be inactive if it's reclaimed to the standards.
So if they're not using it during the year, like last year, would they be inactive or?
If it still has a bank, it's active, whether they take a scoop of gravel out of there or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be finished out, 3-to-1 slopes, seeded, whatever the plan calls for.
Okay.
But
We need most of the table this then, or? No?
just no action on it.
Okay, State Highway 169.
I put together a resolution that should be in your packet there for pedestrian and bicycle. Supporting the DOT that they would consider that when they work on that road to accommodate pedestrian and bicycle traffic from Mellon to Copper Falls State Park.
And that would be like 1.7 miles then?
It's about 1.7 from the Highway 13 to the park.
Would that be on both sides?
We're just supporting it that they look at. I didn't necessarily say both sides, but
See what the
just
state comes up with.
to provide
Yeah.
that we provide pedestrian access, or the state would provide pedestrian access.
Couple of questions.
Sure.
Where does this go from here? You guys vote on it and then it automatically goes to the county
It
board?
has to go to county board, yes, for,
I talked with Matt Dickinson and they were there for the project in Mellon. And he said this is the exact right way to do this, because what'll happen then once the county passes it, we forward those to Dickinson at Superior.
Yep.
And then he will forward it to the bigwigs in
Yes.
Madison.
Yep.
So
But has the town board or anything?
we voted on that one that I showed you at the last meeting.
Okay,
It's pretty much, I mean, I'm assuming you use that.
I actually did, I wrote my own, but yeah,
could we add something about that this was passed by the town board?
no, they would have their own separate resolution
We have a
included,
separate
yeah.
resolution, yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve this resolution to go forward to the full county board.
I'll make that motion to.
I'll
approve this
second.
resolution.
And when does the county board, when would they meet on this thing?
I'm not sure of that next date,
Probably not until October.
Well,
yeah,
We need a motion to adopt this resolution.
then,
Dan is on
We're looking at September 27th.
okay,
September.
Either either that or October 4th, one of the two, for county board.
Thanks, Dan.
yeah,
County board would meet on the 27th, huh?
Or the 4th of October.
Does the highway committee have to approve this resolution?
To
to forward it to county
Okay,
board.
you made a
Yeah, I
motion
made
and
the
a
motion.
Motion
second.
to approve this resolution and forward it to the county board.
Yes, that's, yes.
I would second that motion.
It's Marty second.
Oh, sorry.
You can third it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Third
so
it, huh?
motion's been made and second to approve this resolution in support of the 169 project and forward it to the full county board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Great, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, take
Thank
care.
you. See you later.
Amber, will you email me that county agenda?
Yeah,
Or something? So I'd like to go to that meeting.
and for the county board,
Great, thank you.
I'll forward it to you. Thank you.
Okay, so these can go to Amber.
We have that number 10 yet.
Okay, regional commissioner committee meeting on October 26th.
So October 26th, there's a committee commissioner meeting in Hayward at the Veterans Center. It should start at 9 a.m. If any of the committee members are interested in going, there's going to be speakers from the DOT, WCHA. You could meet other board members from other counties that are on the highway committee.
Is that usually the Veterans Center again?
Yeah,
How
So-
long is that? Is that all day long?
it's usually,
thought
I would say at
noon.
9 and it probably
Oh,
go for
okay.
a couple hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was done before noon.
Yeah, I would say a couple hours tops. So, I mean, if anybody's interested, I can fit 3 extras in my truck if people want to, 3 of you want to ride with me anyway.
Okay.
Up to you.
What day is that?
October 26th.
Oh, it's right there on the thing, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's a Tuesday, I believe.
Wednesday.
What, Wednesday? Wednesday. sorry.
Yeah, I may go to that.
So, yeah, I mean, if anybody would, 3 of you would like to ride with me, I mean, in Gary, we can
I'll
meet
see to
you
I'll look at my
if you're
schedule.
working,
and
but yeah.
Maybe I can ask to go to Hayward that day.
Yeah.
I'm already in trouble.
Can they do to you? You're only part-time.
Yeah, 91 hours, 2 weeks.
Yeah, they don't have the speakers from the DOT set up. They invite the secretary, probably a slight chance he'd attend, but not. We haven't got any confirmation on it, but there will usually somebody from programming or from the higher up in our area there, so.
And if there's 4 of us, we had to take a BART bus in. How's that work?
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
We'll get Dick Football.
Yeah, we'll take Dick with us.
you're welcome to drive on your own, but if you want like a ride, like I say, I can take 3. I got a crew cab pickup and
Okay, so if we need a meeting.
so we do need a meeting in October.
Okay, so it'd be the
The 10th would be the second Monday.
10th, okay,
Mhm.
so. Okay, so October 10th at 9 o'clock.
Where is this regional meeting, did you say?
It's in Hayward, at the
Hayward.
Veterans
That's
Center,
it.
right on the main
Okay.
drag there.
Okay, anything else?
You're here in the text, right?
I think so.
Word on it.
So have we set the date for the new meeting?
This, yeah,
October 10th.
October 10th.
October 10th. Okay.
I'm sure. I bet there's no money in them. Says I got 2 money bags, sorry. There's no money.
Bags.
Okay, so the got the next meeting? All we
Yes, we
need
got
is a
the-
motion to adjourn.
I'll also move and make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Rich, second,
I'll second.
second by Marty.
Beat you through it. Yeah.
All those in
That's okay.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Sorry for that.